Welcome, lovebirds, to Love in the Details, a place to celebrate marriage through the beautiful stories of real couples, because love truly lives in the little things.
Hello there, lovebirds. Welcome. Y'all already know I love love and everything about it, and I love the fact that you have joined us for another episode of Love in the Details. And today, we have the luxury of chilling with blood today. So it's my sister-in-law, Tiffany, and her beautiful wife, Jaz, and we're going to learn a little bit more about their story. Welcome, guys. How are we doing today?
Great.
Awesome. I'm good. I'm happier now that we got a chance to link up. So we'll get right into it of just telling the folks, how did you guys end up starting? And you know what, Jaz, I'll start with you.
So interestingly enough, we met on a cruise. We met on a random cruise that I had booked about a year and a half prior. I'm not sure when she booked it, but we met on a cruise, took my sister. We met on day 3. I saw her from across the room. I can be really detailed, but I'm going to
Not day. This is what we're about. We like the details.
Gotcha. So we got on this cruise. First day I'm on there, partying with my sister, not looking for anything. This is like the first time I'm like really literally single in years and years, most of my life, honestly. And I wasn't looking for anybody or anything.
Okay.
But just to have a good time. I took my sister, so it was like our first adult trip together that I was financing. And I just said, show up. She had some issues that she had been dealing with at home. And I was like, let's just go, let's turn up, let's do that. So I got on the ship and I'm just kind of looking around, seeing who's on the ship. I didn't see anybody. I'm like, all right, that's not what I'm here for. Who cares? But I have my little rainbow cup just in case. Because typically nobody looks at me and thinks that I'm gay. So I'm just like, I need to let you know without letting you know. So I have my little rainbow cup with me for my drinks. And first day, I didn't see anybody. I'm like, okay, cool. Second day, we're on the ship all day. Didn't see anybody. And then that night, that was the night of the captain's ball. So we're in the club. I had partied so hard the night before that this night I'm just sitting down, like in the club. So me and my sister just chilling, just watching everybody dance. And I'm like, just canvassing the room. And I look behind me and I like literally do a double take. And then I'm like, who is that? So I see her with all her friends. And they're all guys. It's her and a bunch of guys. And I'm just like, I nudged my sister. I was like, where's she been all this time? Mind you, we've only been on trip for a day and a half. But I'm like, where's she been all this time? And so I'm like, okay, I like what I see. It's cute. So, but I assume that she's there with somebody because what one girl goes with like 13 guys, 15 guys. So next day we're supposed to have a port. We don't, and we have an unexpected day at sea. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go to the adult deck, read a book, chill out or whatever. And my sister met me later. And she was like, I saw that girl. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, who's she with? And she was like, she has a girlfriend. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what her girlfriend look like? Because I'm like, is she into like me? Because I'm right. She's Hispanic, of course. Not of course, but she gives this Hispanic. So I'm like, what's her girlfriend like? She was like, Hispanic like her. Damn, she don't even like black girls. But I'm like, whatever. So I was like, it is what it is. Of course, she's here with somebody. So we leave the deck, and I happen to walk past them, and they're playing cards, and the girl's there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'd be so embarrassed because I had these little cheap flip flops. And I was like, I'll be so embarrassed if I fall. So I took my shoes off, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna be proud or whatever. So later that night, there was a show. And I was waiting to get on my sister, always waiting on her. So as I'm walking into the theater, she's walking out and she was on her phone per usual. And I'm just like trying to make her like see her because I want to make eye contact with her so she knows I'm looking at you.
Right.
And I need you to know, I'm one of you. So she doesn't look up. So that's that. So that night there's like a party in like this back area of the ship. And I see her there again, and she's just there with her friends. I'm like, why does her girlfriend keep letting her just be out here by herself? Because where is she? Where is she? Where's the girl? Because I put this whole scenario together, couples trip, and she's just still there with all these guys. So I'm like dancing, I'm trying to make eye contact. And then I would look up and she'd look at me, but then she'd look away so quickly. Gosh, what's going on? So the club ends, the night's over. And she and her friends are kind of talking to the DJ at the end of the night. So my sister and I leave, and I was like, no, I have to walk past her. I have to just let her know something. So I walk past. I can speak very low and fast. So I walked past, and I made an attempt at flirting. And I was like, excuse me, lady. But she said she can hear it. So I went to the bathroom just to see what I looked like, to make sure I was good. Came back out, again, walked past, did the same thing. She's not doing anything. So we go to the elevator, and I hear this voice behind me say, are y'all going to get pizza? That's what you do at the end of the night. So I turned around, and it was her. I was like, yeah, we are. And she was like, okay, I'm coming with y'all. And I was like, because I nudged my sister. Yeah, so we get on the elevator together, go up to get pizza, and then I just go sit down, and she comes and follows me. And then she was like, I thought you wanted pizza. I was like, I know my sister wanted some, but I'm cool. And I can literally remember that conversation like word for word. And so we just start chatting, and I keep trying to mention like my ex, who's also a girl. So I'm just like trying to put it out there. Like, this isn't just like something that I, interested in doing on the ship. This is who I am.
Right.
So we just have a whole conversation. I find out she's from New York. I find out she's an Aquarius. My dad is from New York. My dad's an Aquarius. So all these things start coming together. And so she was like, well, I'm going to come get you for breakfast tomorrow morning. I was like, okay. So she's like, I'm walking to you.
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm going to walk you to your room. And so I'm like, she's like, well, remember you. And come to find out, like, I'm down the hall from her. Have been all this time, obviously. So she walks me to the room, go to the room, drop me off or whatnot. And next morning, as promised, she calls to wake me up, and she comes and picks me up from the room. And we thought we were going to be able to go to the dining room, but on a port day, it's like only the buffet. But I still went with her. And so at the time, I didn't know that my sister had made contact with or had exchanged information with her roommate or cousin. And so we get off the ship, we go do our own thing. And next thing I know, my sister and I are sitting, because I didn't have any money. So I didn't have the internet. I had nothing. I was just like, let's go to this cruise. Let's just have a good time. And so my sister, we're sitting at this little restaurant. And next thing I know, her friends walk in. And I'm like, how'd they even know we were there? And my sister told the cousin where we were. So we're sitting there, and I'm just noticing like little things. My sister can be like all over the place. So she's like fraternizing with some random guys. And I'm just like, this is my sister. But she's like watching. And I was like, wow, that's like, she's really like trying to protect, and like, but I just met you, and I just thought it was such a great quality just off the top. And then her friends were drinking like some crazy rum. They're just super high, like, I think it was Ray and Nephew high octane rum. And so they were asking me if I wanted a shot, and she's like, no, don't take it. But the way she said it wasn't like a control thing. It was just like, I'm looking out for you. I don't want you to be sick type thing.
Right.
And I just respected that. So there were just like these little things, and then she was making me laugh. I was just like, I don't like this girl, but I just met her yesterday, So that night was the white party. She was like, am I going to see you later? And I'm like, yeah. So then she finds me on the ship, and we dance all night, and that was great. And then the next day, it was like we were inseparable for those last 3 days. Like, we met on day 3, and this was my girl for the 3 days.
Right.
Weirdly. And so we had a great time. And then the day that we're leaving, I like feel at some point she'd ask me for my number, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my number. For what? And then I think she was surprised. She was like, you're not going to give me your number? I'm like,
right.
What? But all the time on the ship, I'm noticing little things, like just little things that were just like really making me like her that much more. Like, I used to work in special ed. We had seen there was a visually handicapped guy on the ship, and he was like being dragged by the person that was with him. And I was like, why is she walking with him like that? She was like, yeah, she should be doing this. I'm like, what do you know about that? She was like, oh, I've worked with, and I'm just like, what the heck? My dad used to also work with special needs children. So all these things are coming together. So she literally ended up out of those 3 days feeling to me like she was like the female version of my dad. So the day that we're leaving, she, comes to my room, and she's like, are you going to give me your number now? Like, I guess, because in my mind, I'm still trying to kind of play hard to get, but I'm thinking like, I'm going to see this girl, and I feel sad. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, I've met her 3 days ago, but I'm like, this is sad that we're leaving each other. Right. Like, we've had such a good time this whole time.
Because where were you living at the time?
I was here in Atlanta. She was in Virginia.
Okay.
So it was like, this is it.
Right.
I'm going to see you again,
Yep.
And so that's okay. And so we leave the ship, and then we talk nonstop from the time we leave the ship until she boards, because we were at the same airport, but we were just at different concourses or gates at Miami Airport, Orlando, Miami. So we weren't with each other, but we just stayed on the phone like for hours, just after her just getting off the ship. So from that point forward, it was just like, I always wanted to talk to her. We talked every day. It was like the best part of my day. And that lasted for a very long time. From that, we were able to like build a friendship, because we didn't see each other again face to face. That was November of 2016. We didn't see each other again face to face until June of the next year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of I guess you could call it the building and I guess the getting to know each other. I'm going to go jump ahead and say it's dating. Yeah. But, most of your connecting, that's the right word. Most of your connecting had to be over the phone. So, Tiff, what was that like for you?
Well, first of all, the girl that was with us.
Well, we gotta get clarity. We gotta get clarity.
Let's clear that up. So she was a random that we met in line waiting to board the ship. Her boyfriend worked in the jewelry store. So she was there just by herself.
She wasn't Hispanic either.
No, she wasn't. I think she was maybe European or something. But every time she seen us, she stopped and talked to us because we were like the only people she knew. Getting on the ship besides her boyfriend who worked. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we seen her, it was just like, oh, hey, like, what's up?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess from somebody not
from the outward appearance.
It looked kind of suspect.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I mean, for me, once I got back, I kind of had to navigate a little bit because I had a whole nother situation.
Right.
So I kind of had to navigate and figure that out. But I knew where I wanted to be. I just had to figure out how to get there.
Right.
So once all of that, played out, it was like, all right, it's go time.
I think the weirdest thing was knowing that, like, when I got back to Atlanta after those 3 days, I went immediately to talk to my friends. I was like, I met somebody, and this is different because I had been trying to date.
Okay.
And everybody was crazy. I was like, y'all are really like, I can't. I'm very picky. I'm very particular about who I let in my space, and I went straight to my friends like, this is different. Like, this is legit different. And it was funny, like, just to fast forward, like, when she proposed years later, but after, because she had to work everything out.
Right.
And she had a little liquid courage. She made a speech. And she said to everybody, she was like, I had this situation. She said, but after 3 days, I called my best friend. I said, I'm going to marry this girl. And everybody's like, wait, what? And she was like, after 3 days, I said, I'm going to marry this girl. And to know that we were both feeling that type of connection after just being around each other for 3 days was very, very significant to me.
Right. And Jaz, so you mentioned that, there were certain things that Tiff was doing that reminded you of your dad. And it was, again, the little things that were just standing out of her being protective, of her just paying attention to, what you were doing. And even though it wasn't in a controlling space, it was something that, felt comforting, right, for you, right? So Tiff, in those moments, kind of what was going through your mind while, you guys were connecting through those 3 days on the ship?
Honestly, I mean, I was like, all right, like, this is weird, but like, it feels good, but weird in the same time too, because I've never felt that in, like, I've been in a lot of relationships. Like, I've never felt that. So it was weird.
Gotcha.
But like I said, in a good way, but I didn't really know, like, all right, like, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is a little different.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's probably like the best way to like describe it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now fast forwarding just a little bit to the point of, Tiff, you said you was working certain things out, but you also knew that, you wanted a little bit more out of this and wanted to see it through. So when time fast forwarded to, let's just say, June into that July, what was kind of your game plan in making sure, like, hey, I got to see Jaz and I gotta, figure something out? What was that like for you?
Right. So a lot of it was kind of, I guess, trying to reassure her that, like, this is what I want,
right,
but this is what I have to take care of. And I was like, yo, like, we gotta like see each other. You know what I mean? So I think for both of us, it was more so like, let's see each other to see if it's kind of the same.
Right, as the ship.
Right. So I think the best thing is that, like, through everything, we built a friendship. Like, because for the longest, all we could do was just talk on the phone,
right?
FaceTime. I mean, not made, but I was like, you need to get an iPhone.
Oh, you were team Android?
Yeah, she was Android.
I was Android only because I was in, and that was the thing too. And my previous relationship was very controlling, very demanding, very toxic.
Right.
Her thing was, I don't want you to have a phone that's different from mine in case I need to figure out how to get to you. Like just that type of control.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have any preference.
I was like,
so we were Skyping
here on
Skype. We were Skyping at first, and so it was time for me to get a new phone. She was like, "You need to get an iPhone." I was like, "All right, cool. Fine. If that makes it easier for us."
And the approach was different.
Yeah, it wasn't a control. I know what control feels like. I know what demanding feels like. I know what toxic feels like. This wasn't it. It was just, it made sense. Like,
right.
Okay, I'll get an iPhone because why wouldn't I?
Yep.
And then we can FaceTime and we can text and we can do all the, whatever. So that's where it was. But yeah.
Gotcha. Well, and I think for anyone that is single watching this, I think sometimes those little things get lost in translation, right? Of just doing what it takes to make that friendship connection work out, right? Because I think there's a lot of people that absolutely believe that, you know, the part of feeling each other out, learning each other, and spending that quality time on the phone is not that important when it really is, right? Because when you don't have the opportunity to, you know, hold hands, go to the movies, do all of that for months, especially in your case, some people may think like, okay, it can't work. Right. Oh no, it can work. Right. But you know, there is going to be, there's going to be things you have to iron out. There's going to be things that you have to figure out. But if both sides want it and want it in the same way, you're going to make something happen.
Lovebirds, real talk, fatherhood matters. That's why I've partnered with DadGang, a movement celebrating dads who show up with love and pride. Hit the link in the description below to join the movement and rep fatherhood in a whole new way. Now back to the details.
Now you guys get to the point of linking up in person. What was the first thing that you guys did as an activity together?
We kind of explored DC. We were in DC. So I went to go visit my sister in Seattle, and she was like, "Hey, if I get you a ticket to DC, will you come?" I said, "Absolutely. I would not. I want to see you. I want to see you." So we get to DC, and we just kind of hung out in DC, eating. She was showing me around because I had never really been, and we were just having a good time. It was just the thing with her. I liked her. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I met her, I'm like, I like you. Like even, and I say to this day, like now, I like you. Like if I didn't love you, I would still like you. I would still want to be your friend. I would still want to hang out with you because you're just that person. So we just had a great time. It was just a vibe. It was no pressure. It was just like, let's chill. And I felt comfortable because I had spent the past 7 months talking to this person, getting to know her like every day, with the exception like 3 days, whatever. But just
like nobody's counting.
But just like talking to this person and being very vulnerable, very honest, because in that interim, you know, I'm here. I present as single. People want to date me. And I'm just like, okay, I'll go out, and she's knowing I'm going out with this person, or I'm doing this or that, because while we're not together, you know, but we're getting to know each other. But you should know that there are women who want to take me out. They want to date me. I've been locked up, you know, for so long. Now Jasmine's single. Hey, what you doing? Like, let's take you here, let's take you there, or whatnot. But again, it was never like, I would see people, and I had dated people, and she would know, that looked great on paper. Like they had everything lined up and they got their life together. But I'm like, but you're not her. Like, not that she didn't have her life together, but like, I'm just like, you know, I don't feel that. And I'm like,
the connection.
It was, and then we used that word connection, like overused it. Like when we would talk about that 3 days on the cruise, because it was like the connection. I've never felt that with somebody in such a short amount of time, or ever, period, honestly. Like with people that I've been in relationships, like she said, for years, that connection, that instant something, that different thing that makes you go back like, wow, that was really different. You know, I've never experienced that before in my life. So that's something I didn't want to let go. So we just hung out. We hung out for a couple of days. And then when it was time to go, I cried. She cried too. But I cried. I'm a crier. But like we're hugging, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's about to take me to the airport, and I'm crying. And then I catch a glimpse of her, like I don't want to embarrass her, but like there were tears there. But it was like the realization, like, dang, we just had another great 3 days, and now we got to go back to life. I go back to my apartment by myself. You're going back to your life, and then what? You know? So
So after DC and that confirmation that, you know, both of you were on the same page of, you know, what you're looking for, what you want, but also understanding that the 3 days that y'all spent together on the cruise wasn't a fluke, right? Mm-hmm. So moving forward, how did your dynamic start changing and shifting towards getting to the point that you became an item?
Well, we used to, we'd link up all the time, go on vacations.
Cruises became our thing, where we would meet on cruises. So we met on the 2016 cruise. I went on a family cruise in 2017. 2018, we went on another group cruise.
Yeah, so
we wouldn't think that way. But then she would come to Atlanta here and there. I went to DC a couple of other times, but it was just reaffirming that this is somebody I want in my life. Like, and then when I met her with her friends. They were all really cool. Like, I feel like I think I say it too. Like, I met her when she was just her realest self, like most authentic. Like, she wasn't trying to be. And I could deal. But the thing was, I could deal with her turn up. You know what I mean? Her turn up wasn't crazy, drunk, beating on, disrespecting anybody, disrespecting me, wanting to fight people, wanting to curse people out. Right. Her turn up is a fun turn up. So was mine. Like I was saying that the other day when we were in New York. Like, I'm a happy drunk. I'm a, let's have a good time. I'm not trying to be emotional or do anything stupid. It's
just have a good time.
Just have a good time. That's I loved how she had a good time. And so when we would go on these cruises, I'm like around the same group of people. We're all just having a great time. And it was just like, she's a vibe. She's a cool person. And that's one of the things I guess we'll get to later. But like, I liked about her. Like, I like how people like love you.
Yes.
That says a lot about who you are as a person.
And something just kind of stuck out to me because both of you mentioned it in the beginning when it came time to share your feelings to your very close friends and your best friends, right? Jaz, what was it like for you as far as the support that your friends gave you with understanding this unique situation and unique dynamic?
It was great because like I said, I had tried to date and I was very, transparent about my dating woes and women that I was going out with and what was wrong with them because I can always find something wrong. And I'm just like, this is different. And they, knowing me and knowing what I had come from and knowing me, trying to date these other girls, they saw how happy I was. Even if it is just, I talked to her every day. It was never, thankfully my friends were never, hating on her or trying to put down in my mind, like, what if she's not, maybe Brittany a little bit, but she's no longer with us. She went on that last cruise and she got cut off shortly after, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, like, she was a hater. But my friend India, who still to this day is like, that's one of my best friends. She was in our wedding.
Okay.
Very supportive, never, was, trying to say, well, what if she's doing, it was just all, she saw the love that I had for this person and she saw that, she knows that I'm a person who's going to vet somebody very thoroughly.
Yes.
And I don't allow just anybody in my space. And just for me to want this person meant something about who she was as a person. That's
so for you single folks, take note of that. It is okay to be picky.
Yeah.
Right.
Please do.
And Tiff, what about you? What was it like for you when you included your friends? Like, what type of support did you get from them with them understanding your situation?
Our friends was all in. Because honestly, like I've been in previous relationships where, like, not to say that they didn't like my friends, but like it just wasn't like, how to say it, but it wasn't like, didn't feel like a family.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like my friends, they all love Jaz. Like even from the beginning, like the one thing they were always like, yo, like she can hang out with us. You know what I mean? And like I can still be who I am when she's around. It's because like previously it's like you kind of gotta walk on eggshells because I don't know what this person's gonna say when you get home type vibe. But nah, like they were like, yo, this is it. You know what I mean? So yeah, they were all for it. I mean, they're still, all of them are still here to this day. They all was at our wedding. They all was at the engagement. So yeah, no, they love her for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, when it came time to become official, who made the first move?
I don't know. I always felt like this was my person. So it was never like an official, like, will you be mine? Type of
She said, I love you first.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like, all right. Like, okay. Not that I didn't feel it, but I just felt like, because I was still here,
right?
It wasn't okay for me to, you know what I mean, to do that.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter like what I felt, but yeah, she said
thankfully
that first.
for her, again, because she reminded me so much of my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I knew her heart,
right?
And she didn't have to be as verbally expressive about her feelings because I knew how she felt. I could feel how she felt. Like, there was no question about it. It was just a matter when she was going to say it.
Got it.
You know?
It wasn't a if, it was just a when.
Yeah, and I was grown enough to be like, I don't care. I'm not playing any games. I'm going to tell you how I feel, so you know. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm still playing, no, these other girls, I don't want them. Like, they might want to hang out with me and all that. This is who I want.
Right.
So I'm going to let you know and make it clear. And that's going to be on you if you don't.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know exactly.
It was never really, I don't think it was a really official. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe when you moved. I think maybe when she moved, it felt more official. Because it got to the point when the move thing, that was kind of like dramatic. That whole, the move situation, I think. It was a trip she had planned with her family and the other girl and their family. It was like a big cohesive thing.
Right.
Parents were intertwined, they're friends. And my thing always was, when and if I meet your parents, they're going to know that I didn't just meet you, because they know you and they know how you are and how you're reserved. And so if they see how comfortable you are with me, they're going to know that this is not.
Yeah, this is not play.
Right. This is something that you've been involved in.
Yes.
So that was my only concern. Again, I was never like concerned for like, what if they don't like me? I'm wrong. You don't have to like me. I understand everybody's not gonna like you all the time.
Correct.
But that was my own thing. So it was like they had a trip planned for her graduation. And it was their last trip and I was annoyed by it. But then there was an additional part to the trip that I found out about via social media. And I was pissed. I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. We had this cruise was planned in 2019, and I was like, I'm not going. And I was like, because I'm not going to keep putting myself through this, going to have this great time with you, only to go back to my life being single, Jazz, in my apartment by myself, and you go back to your girlfriend and whatever else is happening for you. Like, why would I keep doing that to myself? So this trip, I was like, I'm not going. Forget it. Just do you just live. At this point, they were 3 years in.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I canceled the cruise, and I'm, sorry to break it to you. And we were in Curacao, and she was trying to win me back, but I wasn't having it because I'm not doing this anymore. I can't keep putting myself through that. I'm too good of a person. I'm too good of a catch. I'm too good of
everything.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this anymore. I felt desperate at this point.
Right.
So then she had her friend contacted me because I probably blocked her and everything. And he was like, Jazz, you need to answer the phone, talk to Tiffany or whatever. So we finally got on the phone, or I let her text me or whatever. And she was like, I'm blocked you. So I essentially let. So she was like, it's done. We're over. I was like, I'm happy for you. I wasn't buying it because I had heard this so many times before. Like in the interim of our 3 years at this point, they moved back to another place together. The house has been redirected. I was like, they got a dog. I'm like, who does that? For lesbians, a dog is their child. So when y'all just basically had a baby, on me. Like, so I'm just like, I'm not doing this. So when she said it's over, I'm like, okay, great. I'm happy for you. And, good luck, So she was like, please go on this cruise. I'm just like, I'm not invited. I'm like, I'm not going because I just don't want to do that to myself again. And, the day before the deadline to pay, I told my friend I had looked and she talked me into it. I was like, all right, I'm going to go with them. I trust you. And I had found like a single room. I was like, I'll go as a single person because I didn't want to put that on my friend. But she, of course, decided to come on that last cruise. And then thankfully that was our last cruise in 2019. And I guess, and so I was like, I had gone to Europe. Like I'm in Nice about to catch a ferry. She's like, when she realized she could move, and still work from home anywhere.
Yep.
She called her dad up, like, hey, come get me. And he was there right away the next day. And her best friend then moved the house and she was on her way back to New York. And so that to me is when it felt like,
now it's serious.
Okay, now we're, we're moving in the right direction because you're no longer in this place that you've been this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then 2020 hit. And at that time, she was supposed to come in April of 2020, but we didn't know COVID was about to hit, so that got pushed back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Lovebirds, here on Love in the Details, we celebrate growth in love, life, and in business. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with the Business League, the sponsors of this podcast. They help entrepreneurs turn ideas into thriving businesses with practical tools, expert guidance, and a supportive community. Whether you're starting out or ready to scale, the Business League makes the journey smoother and more intentional. Check them out through the description box below and take your next big step with confidence. Now back to the details.
During that, COVID pandemic shut down everything, being that, again, now 4 years prior, the phone was pretty much, and FaceTime was pretty much the way that you guys got to connect and build. How did, that time period kind of shape your relationship to, being locked in with one another for you, Tiff?
I don't know. I think it was just like, of course we were talking a lot, but of course, like, I think it was just still too, like, me reassuring. Like, at that point, it was a weird point because we had COVID. Like, I was living with Todd. I was living with my sister, so I was taking care of her kids and working while she worked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Outside of the outside of the house. So that was just a lot in itself.
Right,
like,
right.
I got 3 kids and a dog, and I'm trying to work. So it's like, sometimes I'm like, yo, like you don't even, like, I know what you're going through, but I'm like here, like, you're by yourself. I got to take care of kids, and I don't got kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was helping. I had to do a lot. Like, she was working 10-hour shifts. Like, yeah, not you, man. Top was working 10-hour shifts. Like, I'm holding it down. You know what I mean? And still working. And still trying to do everything. So for that period, I feel like we were kind of bumping heads a little bit because she wanted more time.
And you didn't have it.
But I was trying to give her time, but I didn't necessarily have all the time.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, like, I'm stressed out too. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that was like a lot, but yeah.
It was tough. It was tough because when I look back on it, it was the best thing that could have happened for me in terms of this relationship, honestly. But I've worked since I was 14. I wasn't considered an essential worker as a bartender. So initially I thought I was furloughed for 2 weeks because nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So we were happily like, oh, we got a 2-week vacation. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. But then lost my job. Previously, this all happened in March, I think. February, they had visited. I lost my car, totaled my car. Then I went to Bermuda, and I was like, when I get back from Bermuda, I'm going to buy a car. And then COVID hit, so that didn't happen. So literally, I had no car, no job. I'm sitting in my house by myself. My family is in Los Angeles. She's in New York. She's still working. So then I'm thinking, I feel like you should be giving me more love because you understand how hard this is for me. Like, I don't have anything. Like, I'm, literally me, my dog, just sitting in the house day after day after day after day after day with nothing to do, nowhere to go. And so I felt like she wasn't giving me enough. And then it came to a point where I felt I was being like very codependent. Like I was needing her to give me something that I needed to find within myself. And so we bumped heads a lot during that period. And there were times where I blocked her from my own, like, I need to be in control. I'm not going to sit here and wait. Because for me, I had nothing to do all day. I had nothing to look forward to all day. It was literal, just a loop of go to bed, get up, eat, sit on the couch, walk your dog, come back, gain some more weight. Just all these things were happening every day for me where I felt like you're at home, you're with your family, you got your car, you got your job, you got your friends. Everything is there. You're still living life, Once you built that circle of people that you're comfortable being around, it was like COVID wasn't really happening. Like, you got the people that you felt you were safe with, so you hang out. I had nothing, none of that. So I blocked her a few times because I'm just like, let me get my mental right. Let me start meditating. Let me start doing these types of, let me take some acting classes. Let me work on Jasmine because it's feeling very like codependent, and I hate it to feel that way because I'm extremely independent. So yeah, so it finally ended up where she visited for like a month in November. Again, this is at the end of the year, so lots happened in between.
Right.
You know, George Floyd happened. Found out my downstairs neighbor was stalking me. It was a lot going on that I was dealing with by myself with no car, no nothing, just a lot happening. So then she was like, I'm going to come for a month in November. And again, she came. It was like nothing had ever been broken or, you know. And then I was like, okay, she's serious. Because it got to the point where I was like, what are you doing? Like, there's trust issues. I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you at? And it's like, Jasmine, stop. Like, you're driving yourself crazy. So she came for a month in November. We had a great time. Went home to LA for a week. So she met my family then. And then it was decided she was moving in January. So she got here in January. I was so thankful to have her here. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's here, you know. We're gonna test a little bit still, because she's like this. Like if y'all see, she's very like cool, calm, collected,
all the time.
Okay, right?
Yes.
So it's just like I wasn't getting like I'm passionate. I'm not like give me something, you know.
You got to turn some basketball on.
And I'm not into it at all. So I'm just like, give me something. So even when she moved here for those few months, she wasn't living with me. She was living with a friend. I'm still like, what are we doing? What's going on? Like, why are you just moved here because, you know, Atlanta's a vibe. Like, you really not here for me. Like, it was just like all this happening. And I think it literally came to an abrupt stop when she proposed. And I was like, okay, yeah. Like, this girl means it. Like,
wow.
This is serious business here. So yeah, we got some times. But now, it's so funny because now we're just like, we're chilling. Like, we don't argue. We don't fight. Like that. It's just like, this is my best friend. Like, so it just went from that. But I needed that. I needed to work on me. Because of course I didn't want to be that person for her. I don't want to be that person for me. I don't want to be codependent. I don't want you to feel like, no, I need you here. I need you to do this. Because I've never needed that. I've always been super independent. But it just got to the point, I think, with all those things combined, that I was starting to lose myself. And I was like, I need to, you know.
Right. And, you know, so Tiff, being that you were the one to propose, like leading up to that, with you already kind of being in that mental space, like, all right, this is what I want, right? You did everything that you needed to do to clear up, you know, all of the outside noise, right? You took the big step of kind of leaving your comfort zone once again and putting yourself in somewhere that you know, never lived in and never envisioned even being. What was that transition like to get you to the point of proposing to Jaz?
Well, I knew actually when I made the trip in November, I was like, on a birthday or around a birthday, this is what's gonna happen. So me and my best friend, we had that conversation. So I knew that's what it was. And in my mind, I'm like I'm trying to do all this stuff. I was living with my friend, lived with him maybe 5 months. Then I got my own spot. But I'm like doing all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, like she's still like bickering with me, and here I am planning a whole engagement. Like, got her family coming out. I'm sitting here doing all this stuff, and she's sitting here asking me all these questions. I'm like, I literally almost said, like, you don't even know what's going to happen next week. Like, chill out. You know what I mean? But nah, I already knew around that time, November, like, all right, yeah, like, it's good.
This is it.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So
no idea.
Well, the day it happened, I was like, how did you like this? Like, I'm asking questions about that now. Like, when did you plan this? How did you know? Like, when did you? My mom's there, my aunt's there, all the friends from home. Like she said, I just thought she was throwing me a party. You know, like honestly, I thought it was like a small dinner party, and then everybody.
See, that's amazing.
Yes.
You know, and then you know sometimes those. What I feel, especially now, I think, and both of you, you know, hinted at it, that alone time that, you know, sometimes that you it's either forced on you or you take it yourself, however it comes.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't take that time to work on themselves, to heal whatever it is that they need to be healed. It could be something major, it could be something minor, right? But I think, you know, there are times where that gets lost in translation of how important it is before you get to a union, right? And I think when you get that self-clarity and you iron all of those things out, it helps paint the picture of the, I don't know, the outcome that it is that you want and you're looking for. And it lays the foundation for you to build, for something, bigger and better, in the future. So now, switching gears, there was definitely a lot of cruises, that you guys got to connect on. Tell us about, a lot of what were some of your favorite things that you guys, did? Tiff, I'll start with you. What were some of the things that stood out to you that you enjoyed the most, doing with Jaz?
I think for me, the best thing is that like she's always down to do whatever. So like she doesn't like sports at all.
Wow.
At all. I mean, but this is the thing. Like if I'm like, hey, let's go to a game.
She's down.
Go to the game. We have the greatest time ever. Baseball, basketball. We haven't been in football games yet, right? No. So, but it's just those things that like whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm like, gotcha. Hey, let's go here. Or for instance, I'll send her something I see on Instagram. Mm-hmm. She's like, all right, let's go. Then we're in Florida at something that I seen on Instagram. So it's like just willing to do, even if she doesn't like those things, mm-hmm. just willing to do whatever because we just always have a good time together.
That's dope.
So it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like we just whatever. She's like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm down. So that's what makes things easier too, because it's like, damn, I gotta go to a game by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you can, mm-hmm. and I mean, I've done that before, mm-hmm. or feel like, dang, I only can go to a game with my friends.
Right.
But nah, like, you know what I mean? So it just makes it that much easier and that much better.
And for me, that's something that I have brought up in a couple of different speeches that I've done in the public speaking trail. I think a lot of people have a negative connotation when it comes to compromising, right? They feel or view it in a negative light, when a lot of times it's not. There's nothing negative about compromise if you have the right mindset, right? Because for me, the how I define compromising in a relationship is what can I do or give up that is going to make my partner happy. That's how important compromise is, mm-hmm. right? Because whatever it is that you're giving up ain't gonna kill you, right? But it's going to show the other person how important it is for you to be there with them, even if you're not necessarily, that's your thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when now, and you're hearing it from Tiff now, how that makes the other person feel, knowing they know that you don't like whatever. So in your case, you don't like sports. Mm-hmm. Tiff knows that, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. But for you to be ready to just jump up and go to a game, or maybe different events, because with Super Bowls and all that, there's always the parties. Because that's one thing I also appreciate about sports. It allows people to come together, mm-hmm. right? And for you, you're just like, hey, this is what my woman wants. I want to be there with her. Come and enjoy it with her. And I think that shows the importance of what compromising can do to just add depth and value to your connection and to your relationship. And now, Jaz, what about you? What are some of your favorite things that you have done with Tiff, or she's done for you?
Well, just to piggyback up on what we were just speaking with, like, I'm not a big sports fanatic, but I absolutely
likes going to the events.
I love going to the events, but I also appreciate her patience and willingness to teach me. Because if I'm sitting here and there's a game on, because there's always a game on.
Yep.
If I'm like, so what's that, or what's happening there? There's no attitude. There's no rolled eyes. There's no big sighs. Like, oh my gosh, you're interrupting what I'm enjoying. She'll tell me. She'll teach me. She will share that with me so that I can share the experience with her more enjoyably. But I think one of my favorite things, and again, I do those things with her because I just like her. Like, I like to be around her. Like, because we have such a good time. It doesn't matter what we're doing.
Right.
I just enjoy being with her. Mm-hmm. We don't even have to be talking much. Just sit in each other's face. You're my favorite person.
Yep.
But I think my favorite thing to do with her is to travel. That's how we met. And it's authentically something I enjoy doing. Clearly, something she authentically enjoys. So just traveling with one another, and it doesn't have to be big trip. Like we're planning a pretty big trip for the end of this year, but like even the little weekends to Savannah or weekends to Florida, like she said, just to go somewhere and get away from the, hustle and bustle, regular everyday life, and just see and do something different. I love doing that with her.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now, another shift in gears as we, try to wind down. So what I'll do is I'll ask both of you, then you can bounce it one and then the other person goes. But, just tell us 3 little things that you have, enjoyed, appreciate, and it doesn't have to be the general things, right? But it's something that was done that stood out to you and you absolutely have held on to that ever since it happened. So actually, Tiff, I'll start with you. What is one little thing that Jaz has either done, said, or anything that you absolutely love and adore?
I think probably the most first thing I'm gonna say is that she just makes everything so easy. It's like it's kind of like effortless to be in the marriage because it's like I don't know. It's like you said, we don't argue, we don't fight. I mean, of course, you'll have your disagreements, but
that's part of it.
It's just so easy. I think that's probably the most like it's like I don't know. I've never felt that before.
Right.
Like, everything just always felt like a
tug of war.
You know what I mean? But it's just so easy. Like I don't know.
That's dope. Jaz, what's your first thing?
I said it before, I think, but her authenticity. Like I just enjoy that she's exactly who she said she was from day one. You know, I remember asking because again, I'm coming from a toxic place or relationship in my past. Like when you argue, like if we were to fight, you stay mad, like because in my past relationships there were 5 days where we're not talking to each other, but 2 days that are great, and that just became the norm. But I'm like, do you hold on to stuff like that? Are you mean? Are you nasty? And she told me no. And of course, I'm thinking, of course you're gonna say no because I'm gonna say, yeah, I don't even gonna talk to you for a month. But she literally has been that person from day one that she said she was to this day. She's who she said she was. It was never a facade, never a mask. She's as real as they get. And again, I think that speaks to how many people like love her for who she is because she's just real, just authentic.
Love that. All right, Tiff, number 2.
So I work a part-time job. So she fixes my dinner. And then she always writes a note and sticks it on the Tupperware. So that's pretty nice.
That is dope.
Yeah.
And actually that's in the song too.
Yeah. And it's always something different. Like I'm like, all right. And I feel like she'd be like sneaking down here to write the notes. Because I never see her writing the notes. I'm like, when are you writing the note? Like I know she fixing my food, but like when are you writing it? You're getting ready.
That makes sense. Jaz, number 2.
I appreciate still her good morning text that like I've already like some days I leave work early. We leave house early to go to work. So we've already said, I kiss her goodbye. She have sleep most of the time, but still I'm up. I've been up for hours, but when she wakes up
and getting herself together.
Good morning, darling. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, sweetheart. So like it's like old times. Like if I'm that spark where I would wake up looking for that text when we're miles apart. But I know she's at home and she knows where I'm at, but it's still that good morning text and, little flirty things that she'll throw in there here and there. Those are really special.
That is dope. That is dope. And then number 3?
I think probably like the independence. Because I know what she went through before.
Right.
I know even like the whole thing with me still being in Virginia and then going to New York and then COVID. But it was never like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Like even till right now. I mean, it's still like, I mean, clearly, we do things for each other, but I think it was the independence that like, all right, like you ain't like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like always
let
with a
you be you.
handout
Yeah.
or something like that. It wasn't, I guess, to add to the independence, it wasn't what I could do for her. It was me in my, you know what I mean? Like just me being me, not what I can give her. So that's pretty.
That's dope. That's dope. Jaz?
I highly appreciate her letting me be me. Because again, we're clearly two different people.
Yep.
But I've never felt that she wants to shut me up or you're too much. Like I've experienced that where like you're doing too much, or I need you to tone it down a little bit, or stop talking so much, or you're too loud, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
There's a whole bunch, but like, I've never felt that from her. It's always like, again, I guess same thing. Like she lets me be me. She lets me. I don't ever have to like question whether or not I'm too much for her, or if I'm doing too much, or even like little things. Like I can go, and it should be normal, but unfortunately, you find yourself in situations where it's not. So like, I'll be like, "Hey, India and I are going to dinner tonight." And she's like, "All right," and I come home pretty wine drunk. But it's never like, "Oh, you did too much last night," or "Why were you? Why would you come home? What were you doing out there? Who were you talking to?" None of that. Like the trust is there, and I fully know that she trusts me, and it makes me want to make sure that she trusts me. So I don't have a problem like checking in or saying this is what I'm doing, or feeling like I have to hide. Like who wants that?
Right.
This is my partner, it's my best friend. Like I don't have anything to hide from you, And to have that and feel like that's for the first time where I feel like before, even if I wasn't doing anything wrong, like I shouldn't tell you I'm going to dinner because then I have to hear about you. I don't get that from her at all. So her letting me be me 100% all the time is huge for me.
Yep. Perfect. Well, one thing, because I never got the chance to even have this conversation, so y'all are finding this stuff out at the same time as me. But just with having this conversation, the few things that have now stand out to me is the fact that number one, you guys have valued the connection piece and valued the opportunity to be friends more than anything, right? Because I think there's a lot of times we can, as adults and as individuals, sometimes we miss that part of being friends first, right? Because when you make that decision to, hey, I want this person, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life, right? If you don't like the person and they're not your friend, you're going to find, there's going to be opportunities for there to be cracks in the foundation, right? Because that's where the nitpicking can come in, right? That's where a lot of different outside noises can actually have an impact on your relationship because you don't have the right foundation to begin with, right? So the fact that you guys also had a multitude of various challenges, and they didn't have to be major, but you found ways to work through that, right? And then even through those situations, you have found the ways to see past that and see what that person is doing, see what, Tiff is doing, for Jaz, and Jaz is doing for Tiff, even if you're miles apart. And understanding that, valuing that, and holding on to that to the point where you're here now still speaks a lot to the type of relationship that you guys have. And the one thing that I guess my challenge to both of you as you just continue to have fun and continue to travel is to keep doing those little things for each other, right? And keep adding to the list. Like we only talked about 3 things, but I'm sure there's other things that probably didn't even come to mind that that is there, and you can count on one another to do those things, right? Continue to value that and speak about it as well, because that's something I also put in my book. I think a lot of times we allow life to get in the way of having those important conversations, right? Because sometimes you just never know what life can bring to you that can just change the trajectory of anything, right? And the big items that may shred a relationship might only be a blip in the radar for you, right? Because of how firm you both trust each other, how you love each other, how you value each other, I think just goes such a long way, right? And I hope that never gets lost. I hope that the trips continue and you guys just continue to have fun, because I think and for those that, you know, will see this episode, they'll, you know, get to realize as well, like, hey, it may not start off as some storybook beginning, right? But you get the opportunity to navigate it the best way that you can, and the best way for you to, right? Because I think that's another thing that, you know, sometimes some people may look at I don't really want to say, but a celebrity relationship or just somebody in the limelight, right? They may see that and just say, okay, I want that. But they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. They don't see what's going on behind the camera, right? They don't see what's going on behind closed doors. So it is okay to have disagreements. But to your point, how long do you stay mad?
Right.
Like, are we not talking? Are we sleeping in separate rooms? Is somebody on the couch? You know, there's so many different avenues, but you guys are doing what works for Jaz and Tiff, right? And I think that's, you know, definitely commendable. And yeah, I hope to see that continue to blossom, and you guys keep looking at each other like it's, you know, day one on the cruise again. I absolutely love that. Been peeping that the entire time. And I think it's not just cute, but I think it's necessary, right? To just hold on to those feelings and those emotions and make everyday day one again. And I think that's important, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation just as much as I did. You know, check us out for next week for another episode on Love in the Details. I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for tuning in, lovebirds. Remember, love shines brightest in the little things. We'll see you next time on Love in the Details.